In this video, we are going to show you how to prepare night GPS tracking collars to conduct grazing behavior research on cattle. The first step is to prepare the I Got You units. After charging the units, you can connect them to a Microsoft computer. They don't work with Apple computers. Once the unit is connected, the following window is going to open. It's going to ask you if you want to download the GPS data found on the unit. If you just finished a grazing study, you want to answer yes. But if you want to start a new study, you want to answer no. Once this is done, you really want to make sure that your unit is clean of any data to be safe. So you're going to just clear the device data. And so here you answer yes, and it's going to make sure that you have no data left on that unit. Here are the options for the configuration of the unit. You can choose to set up a password protection or reset the settings. In our case, we just went with the normal configuration, so we went ahead and did next. In this window, you can choose your startup method. You can go with manual control, which means that you're going to have to push the button to turn the GPS on, or you can use scheduled control, which means that you're going to use the software to schedule the device to turn on at precise times of the day, or only record data on certain days or during certain times of the day. We just went ahead with the manual control. Here you can set up the tracking interval. In our case, we decided to collect GPS data point every 10 minutes, which gave us 144 data points per day because we had the collars on for 6 months at a time. So we wanted to make sure that the battery would last long enough. Be sure to deselect the power saving mode because it puts the device into sleep mode, and then consequently you're going to lose data. You can also choose to select smart tracking mode, and it's going to allow you to put the GPS into sleep mode if the unit is traveling at an increased velocity. We decided to not use this feature because we were tracking livestock. So now your unit is configured and ready to be used. Here, because we selected manual control, we have to turn on the I Got You GPS unit. The blue light is showing us that the GPS unit is on. You can see that blue light on the top corner of the 4. The second step is to protect the I Got You units. We put the GPS unit in Ziploc bags to avoid water infiltration. We did our research in Arizona where the monsoon season is really heavy in rainfall, and we had to make sure to at least try to decrease the risk of water infiltration. It actually worked very well. The third step is to secure the I Got You units inside of the collar. We put back the bolts, and then we just make sure to secure those bolts in place with a wrench. And it really has to be as tight as possible to try to avoid any issues of the units falling off the collar. You have to make sure that the box is secured on the leather collar. The fourth step is to finish the preparation of the collar. After our first study, we decided to add some padding to each of our collar on the 2 bolts to protect any injuries on the neck of the cattle. We put a fair amount of Gorilla tape on the padding to make sure that it will stay in place. We do the same thing on the second side of the collar. And then finally, we decided to go ahead and put an extra layer of Gorilla tape across to make sure that the end of the collar would not pop out. We put that extra safety on each collar because our studies lasted for 6 months at a time, and the ranch where the studies were conducted had a lot of thorny plants such as ocotillos and prickly pears, which could really impact the collars. We color code each of our grazing behavior study because sometimes on rangelands it's difficult to gather the entire herd in one day, and we may have an animal that's not been caught and then might show up later on, which happened during our studies. The best colors to be seen on rangelands are neon pink, yellow, orange, and green. The final touch is to write the number of the collar with a Sharpie. And this is really just to set up the study because after 6 months, you really cannot see it anymore. There you go. The night GPS tracking collar is ready to be deployed on cattle. So the final step is to put the collars on the cattle. You want to use a squeeze chute where you can safely put the collars on the cattle. Some cattle don't mind having a collar around their neck, but some cattle are going to be very reactive to it. It really doesn't hurt them, it's just that they're wondering what is that thing around their neck. And then after a while, they're going to be okay with it. For our studies, we deleted the first days of the study because of that behavior. And there you go, you can start your research.